So welcome back to Rescue Designs, guys, and it's the day after. It's the day after the day after. So the MOT's been done, it's back at the barn, and now it's a process of actually getting it ready to put it up for sale. So the first thing I need to do is making my skin crawl seeing it this dirty after the journey. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a good clean. All that Portuguese dust and UK rain all mixed in there. I just need to, and unfortunately a few little bit bird droppings as well. So I need to get that sorted. And then once that's clean, first thing I'm going to be doing is, excuse the mess inside, I've already loaded it up with stuff, but yep, it's going to be, I'm going to remove the sunroof and get that panel in, and then move on to actually taking the front grille off and taking these. They're new, but they're non-heller, and I've actually got, like I said, I showed you guys a set of, they're on the partial shelf here, a set of hellers, original ones. They just need to be cleaned, so I'm just going to take them apart and give them a good clean. Also, they've actually got the rubbers on them, and the ones on there don't actually have these as well, so the car's even going to be more complete, as well as going to get round to fit in this brand new old stock lower tongue block cover. Also, I'm missing these little kind of trim bits that go on the bonnet, as well as I'm going to fit the new boot lock, because it doesn't work with the central locking, unfortunately, it's busted. As well as there is more, due to the heat of it being in the workshop in Portugal, the dash has cracked slightly here, and I'm not happy with that, so I'm going to get that sorted. I'm going to get a little dent masked around. It's got like a little ding here, I don't know if you guys can see it, the ripple on there. It's got like a little, where someone's opened the door on it or something, because I was using it for a bit as a daily for about 6 months at one point. But anyway, let's get on and clean this. I somehow feel better. Don't ask me why, or don't ask me how. It's clean now. So I'm gonna press on now and actually remove the sunroof. I mean, I did a how-to video, and it was literally my first video, and it was absolutely terrible, the sound quality and the visuals as well. But unfortunately, I'm not gonna kind of do another one for you guys. But all I'm gonna do is gonna remove the panel. So it's just kind of remove these 2 screws here, as well as the 2 little spring bits at the back on each side, and actually just push the panel through, get it all out, so I can actually put this bit of trim inside. Okay, and the benefit now of the main reason why you saw me loosening this off is actually because to put this beading that goes around the sunroof, you actually need to lift it up, because it actually goes underneath the mechanism here. So it's just going to make my life a lot easier now that I've actually stripped it down to put that bit in, to do the rest of it as well. As you can see, put it all on, it looks so much better. Actually, you know, I've always actually, since I built the car, I've never actually had this on there. I kind of put the sunroof in, I never got around to actually getting it trimmed, and in the end, actually, as I'm selling it, is when it's actually going to be complete. It's just the way it goes, I guess. It's done. Next thing is going to be to remove the front grille and take these new aftermarket spots off and clean up the hellers and actually fit the hellers on there, so they're all hellers, because actually these are also actually new old stock hellers as well, the actual main lights, so it'd be nice just to have them all hellered up. Is that even a word? Hellered up? But no, yep, to have them all as hellers is cool. Right, so got the grill off, pretty straightforward, just a couple of screws and then a couple of push down clips and it's off. So yeah, so I'm gonna take this to a safe place, and as you can see, they're aftermarket ones made in Taiwan, but they did the job and they look fresh, but I'll make those hellers look as good as these. Right, so let me get the grill on here. As you can see, they're looking box fresh. Don't know if you remember, if you could see them, how misty they were. So they're all done, so it's proper hellers on there now compared to what was on there before. Just a simple click this on. Again, 5-minute job, but it's a small detail, and I'm sure when I come to sell it, it'll be appreciated that they got hellers on the front as well. Okay, so next thing now is to pull it out of here and actually pull the dashboard out. Before I dive in to the dashboard and doing the TPS, I'm gonna do the actual boot lock. The boot lock is actually missing a little bit here that's broken, so that when you push the button around, you see, it's actually got nothing to hit onto. It's basically this little bit here, this T-bone looking thing is actually broken off. When I built the car, it was fine, and then when I got to Portugal, maybe again because of the heat or something, it cracked or something, so it was just old. So yep, so the boot then became annoying. I had to always climb through the rear seats to actually pull on this little lever to unlock the boot. So before I get deep into the dash, let me get this little boot lock done. It was pretty easy then. I didn't have to remove the wiper at all. It was just, there was a little grommet here, take off the vacuum actuator and take off the number plate plinth to then release these two little clips that kind of hold it in place. Popped it off and you can slide it off. So here now you can see side by side the difference with why it wasn't working. Was that bit there. Also this one was actually seized, so I've actually freed it up so that it works smoothly. Now the only thing I need to do is remove the barrel and this little bit here which I need. So Phillips screwdriver, and you put the key in the barrel and you'll be able to remove that screw, and then also push the barrel out with it, and then you can easily just transfer the barrel onto this lock mechanism. So as it stands now, it does open, which it didn't do before. Now if I lock it with the key, it should not open. Unlock it, and yes, okay, cool. So I can actually put this trim on now. So with the dash, kind of the first thing you got to do really is actually the central console, and then these lower pockets here and there, and then I'll start, once I've got that kind of stripped down, I kind of start with taking the radio out and all this surround for the dash, taking the speakers off, and then I think once that's kind of done really, it's just taking the steering wheel off then taking the clocks out, and then all you got to do is use these 8mm that sit, I think there's about 5 of them along there, one each side, and the dash is out. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, this lower shelf actually is quite nice because this service bit actually isn't broken. They tend to break really easily, so I'm quite happy I actually still got this all original. Okay, so let's take these trays off. So it's like there should be one here, 1, 2, 3 at the top. As you can see in there, it shows you how tidy it is and how tidy the fuse box is. I like to keep my stuff really tidy, and all the wiring stuff. Console's still in, because what I'll do is, if you go take the dashboard out, there's no point trying to wiggle it out and stuff. If you remove these 2 side trims or lower parts there and there, this will just come out really easily. Got the other side off. Again, as you guys can see, it's all very tidy underneath here. So you just kind of pull it, and then actually maybe even put it in 4th or something. So now I can then reach and unplug the loom for the electric windows. Again, all pretty easy. Some of you may notice this loom looks pretty new, because it is. I actually made a brand new loom for it with wiring, as well as I've used kind of a different kind of relay, something not too dissimilar to what comes on the Polos and stuff of the newer cars. But anyway, so that's done. So now next thing to do, like I said, is take this surround off. Again, it's all pretty straightforward. What I've got left now is to take this off. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I think it is. Right, so we've got quite a lot done in quite a short period of time. Also took the cowling off. Gonna take the steering wheel off next. The 24mm, so we can take the stalks off, because otherwise you can't get the dashboard off. You'll end up breaking the stalks. And then once that's off, the stalks is off, the dashboard is actually loose. All it is there's 2 10mm that are holding it on, so you have to take off the rain trays, and they're kind of tucked up inside the scuttle panel there. Dashboard's out. Wasn't too bad really, just a few 1-wire. The mic that I added kind of went around the frame. It's annoying when people have actually put loads of wires around that kind of frame. You have to kind of unthread them, but when I put the dashboard in originally, I knew that, so it was all going to be fairly easy. As you can see, they've all got even all the sound deadening on these pipes and everything. It's all been redone, as well as the airbox has been done as well. Now what I need to do is, I'm not going to put the new dashboard straight in. So with the DTA management system that's on this, it runs the ignition side, and also it runs the idle valve. Now, to get the idle valve to actually work, it needs a TPS, which is a throttle position sensor. The standard KR one doesn't have a position for it, and also the 9A one can actually work, but it's trying to source one at the time. I couldn't source one. I had the idea of actually mounting a Mercedes TPS, because there's actually a remote one. It's actually on some Mercedes, they had electric throttle body, but yet it had a cable, accelerator cable, and the cable went halfway up to the bulkhead, and then you had like this little potentiometer with the cable went where you could actually accelerate the engine if you wanted to from the engine bay. Now that does the TPS 3 wires, and then 3 wires also do the electric throttle body. So if you use the side which is the TPS side of it, I can actually mount it on here with like a little cable or a little rod on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so I just did the finishing touches here after I took the dashboard out, and as you saw, I took it all out, and this is the bit that I was referring to. So for Mercedes, I think it's not too clued up on my numbers. I think it's a W207 maybe, or something like that. It's like a C-Class 2007, 2000 and kind of thing anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this off, and with this bracket actually mount it up. So I'm hoping it will fit, because on these right-hand drive cars, as you can see, the throttle runs very differently as it does to the left-hand drive cars. So the throttle's on this side as it would be normally, and it's got like this contraption. So if, you know, all you UK guys know exactly how this works. For you guys with the left-hand drive, for the rest of the world, you might realize you've not seen this before. So it actually makes my life a little bit easier, because then I'm thinking I can actually mount this unit once the cable's off it. I'm going to be able to make a little bracket, and it will actually sit kind of there. Let me just take the cable off to show you guys what I mean. So I've just kind of just put it up here so you guys can kind of see where I'm going to go with this. So with a little bit of trimming, it will actually fit up against here, and I'll make a little bracket for it. I'll trim this bottom bit and adapt a bracket to fit that actually holds the accelerator, and trim some of the soundproofing a little bit, not much, and then literally it will sit more or less around here, and then when I actually accelerate, it will actually pull down this TPS. You know, for myself, it was fine the way I'd set up the idle valve, which was to catch the idle when it reached a certain below an RPM, because I didn't have a TPS. So I used one of the auxiliary ports on the ECU to control that. Don't want to get too complicated. So that's what I did. And I could live with it for the amounts that I used the car. But if I'm going to sell the car, I want the car to be as close to OEM as possible, because maybe what I would put up with somebody else won't do, or maybe frown upon it. So it's one of these things, I'm actually getting it proper tip-top condition to actually sell, not to actually keep. Because sometimes, you know, for myself, okay, that's fine. I can kind of, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's cold start. I'm in Portugal. It's fine. It's not really a problem. But yeah, I'm just going to sort this out so that it's actually perfect. So that's it, guys. We've come to the end of another video. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to actually put this TPS on, but also I can't do everything in one video. You guys are going to have to watch the next video for me to show you guys how I'm actually going to mount this up, as well as then put the dashboard back in. And then there's going to be a new segment in the next video about this car, which is going to be a technical segment on, you know, the wiring that is involved with actually wiring this up, and also more importantly the setting up and the changes that need to be done on the ECU to get the idle valve started. So there's actually going to be a new segment with a special guest, which will be a technical segment, kind of maybe in the middle of the video, explaining this in more detail. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe, ding-a-ling-a-ling, click on that notification bell, and keep safe.